Hello and welcome to the Astrology in You podcast. I'm Kerry Hourigan and today we'll be looking at the full moon in Pisces coming up on the 10th of September 2022, the retrograding planets including the lunar nodes as we continue through this incredible, intense time. But firstly, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the original land carers, the Awabakal people, where this podcast is recorded. I give my deepest respect to elders past, present and emerging and acknowledge that sovereignty has never been ceded. Just a reminder, you can get a free mini astrology report that includes a very detailed birth chart from Astrology in You. I created a video to show you how you can create a free birth chart with transits at astro.com, and that makes it easy to follow along with any astrology you're looking at during this time. And you can find the podcast on iTunes. Any resources mentioned in the podcast will have links in the show notes below, and if you receive the newsletter, you will have access to the full moon in Pisces through the houses. Now, as you can imagine, there are countless interpretations of this, as this depends on your own situation, your conditionings from your childhood, culture, and society conditionings. So I've put together just some general interpretations that will hopefully help you understand the energies better. So the full moon in Pisces is coming up on the 10th of September 2022 at 17 degrees and 41 minutes, depending on your location. And to see where this specifically relates to you, look to the house or the life area this will be transiting in your own chart. The moon in evolutionary astrology represents the ego, our self-image, how we see ourselves internally. It's our subjective filter by which we view the world based on our childhood conditionings, societal conditionings, cultures, and experience. The moon is linked with our emotions and the management of them, issues of safety, our inner child, childhood, nurturing needs, and the relationship with our parents, in particular to our mother. Full moons bring things to a culmination for release and completion. The polarity of the full moon is the new moon, and the new moon signifies a new cycle. But to begin something new, we must let go of the old. The Pisces archetype itself is a mutable water sign ruled by Neptune. It is the last sign of the zodiac and rules the 12th house, where we can spiritually tune in to our spiritual source. Pisces is an introverted sign correlating to our emotions because of the water element. The mutability represents the ability to be adaptable. In Pisces, we immerse ourselves in our emotions consciously and unconsciously, feeling how they ebb and flow, always in motion. Even in stillness, there is an undercurrent below. Just as your mind or the emotional body can be filled with guilt, shame and unworthiness, it can also be filled with being worthy, appreciation, love and happiness. Pisces and Neptune also correlate to merging with the original source or the oneness, where peace and bliss reside. We are in its protection, we don't need anything as all is taken care of. And when we incarnate, we feel the separation from that source and the literal separation from our mother in our birth. In that separation from the cosmic mother or the source and our earth mother, we know we will feel pain and suffering, and we don't know how to cope with this. And this is why in Pisces, the 12th house and Neptune, we can experience delusion and escapism to distance us from that pain and suffering. Escapism takes many forms: addictions, overeating, overspending, sex, binge watching on television, drugs and other abusive substances. We can feel victimized and persecuted. All the signs merge with each other in Pisces, and this is why Pisces is considered egoless. We feel compassion and empathy for others as we connect with each other and all living things. We attune our personal powers to meanings higher than our own little self as we yearn to reconnect with the oneness. You can often feel things are futile, becoming passive and compliant with what is happening. This type of surrendering causes dysfunction, and it relates to victimization. Pisces rules our immune system, and it's not just our immune system that fights viruses, parasites and disease. It also includes our emotional, intellectual, physical immune systems. Our immune system is directly associated with our emotions, and when we are in heavy emotions of guilt, shame, worry, anger, stress and unworthiness, this weakens our immune system. We must practice having a healthy immune system on all levels. Here we look at the mutable earth sign of Virgo, which is the polarity sign to Pisces. Virgo tells us we have work to do to improve our immune system around our relationships, finance, physical health and self-esteem. On a deeper level, our soul has wanted to experience these challenges for the purpose of our evolution, growth and development. This is the reason why we have incarnated into this life, to feel pain and suffering, so we evolve through our emotional bodies. Because we have to feel our emotions. When we don't know how to cope with pain and suffering, we escape or we try to numb and avoid our emotions of guilt, shame and unworthiness. Virgo helps us heal through analysis, seeing things from a different perspective, questioning, why do I react this way? Where have I felt this before? Once we start to find the truth, we are free. We can fully release the suffering. Or actually, the suffering fully releases us. We evolve and gain wisdom by finding the truth. Pisces, the 12th house, and its ruling planet Neptune, is about truth. So the full moon in Pisces would suggest the culmination by finding the truth to releasing stresses around that life area or house that it is transiting. Emotions and deep sensitivities can run high as the intensity of the moon is increased in the full phase. We must remember all placements and transits have healthy and destructive potential. With destructive and distorted expressions, lessons are to be learnt. Distorted and destructive expressions can lead to freedom and wisdom, and all you have to do is to be willing to go through that door and look closer to find the truth behind these destructive expressions. I always mention Byron Katie, and what Katie says about stressful thoughts is all stressful thoughts are a lie, and just knowing that in itself is comforting. They are an invitation to question and explore our unquestioned stressful thinking to finally end our suffering and align our ego with our soul. Now, you'll find the links to Byron Katie below, and there are numerous videos on YouTube. She has a process that's around 4 questions and the turnarounds, and she offers it free to anyone. So Pisces also rules poetry and music, so your creative juices may begin to flow. Pisces puts us in touch with nature, and we connect with all living things around us. Pisces is a very gentle yet powerful energy. So pay attention to what area of your life you may be drawn to. You may have to let something go or find forgiveness. Forgiveness, to me, as I understand it, is letting things and people behave as they must. Now, it doesn't mean bad behavior is acceptable, whether that's from you or from another. When we have stressful thoughts, we become very confused, and they can be accompanied by crippling emotions, bringing imbalance to our life. And if this goes on long enough, we usually pay through our health. But they are a blessing in disguise. They get our attention to look closer, to purify our thinking, to eventually bring freedom, peace, relief, hope, appreciation, joy, and love. And this is what truth does. That saying, the truth shall set you free, is absolutely true. So the Pisces full moon will no doubt enhance sensitivities for some people. Those with the natal Pisces moon or Pisces South Node, Pisces Sun, and a packed 12th house. So you may want to withdraw and have some time alone. For those of you who have this, I really encourage you to go and investigate the 12th house and the Pisces and Neptune energies. So a great resource for that is a brilliant astrologer called Maurice Fernandez, and he's got a book on Neptune, Pisces and the 12th house, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes below. So Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces, is in its own sign of Pisces and it's retrograding. So Neptune in Pisces is dissolving the untruths. Neptune is where we contemplate there must be more to life than our material world and what consensus tells us. What is not true will be exposed and accelerate our evolution both collectively and individually. Pisces and Neptune bring everything together, and with the help of its polarity Virgo, we can discriminate and discern what is valuable to us and what is useless to us, and therefore we can discard. Neptune, Pisces and the 12th house tells us that in the eyes of truth, we are no less and no more than any other individual. We are all the same. Now, interestingly, there are 6 planets in retrograde plus the lunar nodes currently happening. And Mercury is stationary and will go retrograde as well from September the 9th till October the 1st. Now, the retrograde motion is where we review, relive, repeat, and even rebel to bring things to a resolution, to accelerate our evolution both collectively and individually. The phenomena of the retrograde motion initiates a natural resistance and rebellion against external pressures in many people. Many reach individuation, as Carl Jung called it. Those that do will feel a great sense of relief and a desire to question the consensus. So as an example, in Australia, we have a new Prime Minister and government who has been in power for the last 3 months. In that time, they have announced inquiries and royal commissions into the questionable actions of the previous government and individual politicians that have acted immorally, unethically and corruptly, including the previous Prime Minister himself. And hence, more untruths will be exposed. So the question becomes, what do we need to revisit and review, to release and let go in our own life? Where have we corrupted ourselves and for what reason? It's quite a question, isn't it? So I've created a small list in the show notes for your reference if you wanted to go and have a look at that as well. So the Pisces full moon is also in a trine to the Scorpio South Node in Taurus North Node and Uranus in Taurus. Now these are quite harmonious aspects and suggest there is an ease with letting go of the old to look to the future. Uranus is known for sudden shocks and shake-ups, therefore is linked with trauma as we have to adjust quickly. And the trauma with Uranus comes from trying to keep things the same, even if it's not working, where pressure continually builds. And when the pressure is released, we have to adjust very quickly because we have to move towards our future. And Uranus is very futuristic. Nurturing ourselves in the full moon in Pisces. Medically, Pisces rules the immune system, the pineal gland, the right brain, the left side of the body, and the feet. You could start with a meditation practice to connect with your soul or the God within. Have you ever tried to connect with your soul? Review, resolve, and release what holds you back. Improve your different immune systems. Engage with your imagination and creativity. Be in nature where possible and find your truth and allow what doesn't work for you anymore to dissolve away. We listen to our heart's intelligence, which I think is the soul. It is the center of our truth. We connect through our hearts to every living thing, to each other, to the cosmos, and to the God within itself. Be in the higher emotions of hope, gratitude, joy, relief, appreciation as much as you can. And this is the best thing you can do for your immune system. Thank you for listening. Just like to say welcome to all my new subscribers and to my existing subscribers. I am always thrilled to think we connect all over the world. It blows me away, it really does, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much. Take good care of yourself. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.